All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to do an update on AppHarvest. For those of you who follow this channel, you know I did a longer video on AppHarvest. It's one of the companies I'm most excited about. I've spoken recently about the Russian energy company Rosneft. I've spoken recently, obviously, about Composer, which I think is in the final stages of going multi-symphony. So I should be able to start doing a couple videos showing that fairly soon. So very, very excited about that. And then the other company is the ag tech company AppHarvest. AppHarvest is backed by Martha Stewart, the NBA player Blake Griffin. I believe Steve Case is also involved, the guy from AOL, the Impossible Foods CEO. So it has some heavy hitters behind it. And when you watch that initial video that I did, it kind of goes more into the detail of its greenhouse and what it's trying to do. It was after its IPO, I want to say in the 40s. It sold off in the mid to low fives. So the stock cratered after basically it announced that its net revenues were going to fall tremendously. And it's a startup. So it's one of these things where if you're buying Amazon or Apple or Tesla in the beginning of its growth, there's going to be some bumps in the road. But this is actually great news here. And you can see the stock has actually responded. AppHarvest announced its Q3 2021 results and second growing season off to solid start. And it says here, company delivered higher than expected net sales of approximately 543,000 on 1.5 million pounds of tomatoes sold in Q3 2021 as second growing season at company's Moorhead high-tech indoor farm ramps up in Q4 2021. High-tech indoor farms currently under construction in Kentucky, 60-acre tomato, 50-acre leafy green, and 30-acre berry facilities expected to be operational by end of 2022, and 10-acre Moorhead leafy green facility in 2023. So you can see they're doing tremendous expansion, building new greenhouses with the latest technology. A lot of it is based on what the Dutch have done. They've purchased a robotic startup, Root AI, which actually the robots can pick the tomatoes. So their labor costs will go down. And I just think it's a matter of, and it may take some time, it may take a year, 2 years, 3 years of just getting all their metrics, all their algorithms correct on their input costs, their labor costs. But once they have these robotics set and they refine everything with the growing and what type of lighting is going to produce the highest scale, the amount of red light versus blue light, the best CO2 ratios in the structures, all these different things. I think they're just going to further and further refine those algorithms and those metrics. And I think they'll hit a home run with that. And again, I don't think it's necessarily going to be tomorrow, but I think that in time they're just going to master that and thrive. So you can just see down here, with a keen focus on the core business, our team delivered on top priorities this quarter to replant and prepare our first high-tech indoor farm for a successful new growing season and to continue expanding our network with new farms under construction, said AppHarvest founder and CEO Jonathan Webb. Now, the other thing with investing is when you're investing in a company, you're oftentimes investing in an individual. Think about how many people have invested in Tesla because of the personality of Elon Musk. Think about how many people have invested in Berkshire Hathaway because it's run by Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. Jonathan Webb is kind of a gritty, charismatic founder. And I think that he brings a lot to the table. He doesn't seem so like MBA, CFA, sort of polished. Oh, you can say this, you can't say that. He seems like he shoots from the hip, very intense guy. And I like him. I like the energy he brings. So it just goes on a little bit. Third quarter results, initial fourth quarter progress. Let's see here. And then we go development. And talks a little bit about more of the greenhouses they're constructing. But let's go over here now. This was actually just a few days ago. So as I mentioned, all the heavy hitters, this was published November 8th, so just a few days ago. Let me reduce my screen here. And this is a visit that Mitch McConnell made to their facility. And so just as I showed you the video of Rosneft with Vladimir Putin saying to Igor Sechin, "We wish you much success." So the state is behind Rosneft. You could say that I think both Democrats and Republicans will get behind AppHarvest. I think it's a win-win for everyone. You talk about food security, talk about the supply chain, being food independent, energy independent, all these things. It just ticks all those boxes. So it's a short little video from a few days ago with Mitch McConnell.
Review of AppHarvest while addressing dozens of workers at its Moorhead facility.
How many decades have we worried about lack of economic development in eastern Kentucky? And we all know that the decline of the coal industry has only got worse. And so this gives us hope.
Senator McConnell called AppHarvest exactly what eastern Kentucky needs and said the workers are real leaders.
We're here to build an American food system that's inclusive and resilient for everybody, and Kentucky is becoming a world leader.
Senator McConnell says the challenge now is to take this tech into the heart of Appalachia. He hopes that money could come from the American Rescue Plan Act to help AppHarvest take this further into coal country, or from the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which he supported back in August. Given Kentucky's recent infrastructure report card from the American Society of Civil Engineers, Senator McConnell said he is proud of that infrastructure bill.
It's a godsend for Kentucky. I'm surprised we even got a C. We have a lot of infrastructure needs, both in rural areas and the big bridges.
I also asked the Senate Minority Leader for his thoughts on President Biden's vaccine mandate, which could affect large employers like Apple.
So then it gets into the vaccine mandate and such, so it gets a little political at the end. I just wanted to showcase more of the fact that you have Martha Stewart, you have Blake Griffin, you have Steve Case, you have the Impossible Food CEO, you have Mitch McConnell now behind this. So there's a lot of, again, heavy hitters, celebrities, politicians that really seem to be on board with AppHarvest. And I kind of got lucky because I saw it initially and was very intrigued by it because of my personal interest in farming and gardening. My 40-acre property in North Carolina that I sold with my vineyard there, and I did peppers and tomatoes and all that. So even here, I'll do some videos on my 50 tomato plants or whatever it is, a few hundred pepper plants, my little mini farm here in suburbia. But when I initially saw it, I didn't take a position in it when it was in the 30s and 40s. I said, let me track it and see what happens. As I was just intellectually interested in it. And then when I saw that it had fallen 70, 80, 90%, whatever that is, I took that position. So let's actually look at my position here. So you can see AppHarvest, I have 424 shares. My cost basis is 570. So I've taken a 1762 position, so almost 2,500 even. You can see it was here at 663 trading at. So now you see like my initial position was 550, 565, and then I started buying it a little bit here when it went over the sixes. So you can see that now that position is worth 28.11, and so I made $393 in profit, 16% return in about a month because I started buying. Today's I think the 11th. Started buying October 11th, so just started taking that position. And this is one of the sort of speculations. This is one where could this be the next Tesla of food? Perhaps. Could this just have so much debt and cash burn in the beginning that it becomes a challenging proposition? I hope it's not that. Obviously as a shareholder, as someone who's very much interested in farming, agriculture, and ag tech, I hope they can figure it out and make it successful. And it's, I said it to someone that it's rare when you start a business that you have suppliers saying, yes, please, we'll take as much as you want. And it just seems like their distributor, Mastronardi, and just even like Kroger and Albertsons and Publix and all these grocers, like, yes, we love it. We'd love to buy from you. So, you know, a lot of times when you start a business, you have to make cold calls. People hang up on you. They're not as enthused as about your product as you are. So it's a tough slog, but it just seems like it's going to be kind of, once they get their metrics right and their algorithms right on the production side, I think the buy side of what they're producing is going to be an easy play. I think you're going to see in all grocery stores, and the grocery stores are going to almost say, we'll buy as much as you can produce. So yeah, so that's a little bit on AppHarvest. Just wanted to give that update so you can see now it's 663. Although you can see the way the market works, it looks like it's sold off just a little bit to 640 in the time I started this video. But you know, it's still up pretty tremendously. And so you can see here today, my account peaked at 670. If I scroll down here, you can see the high on this account right there, 670. I'm still hanging out in the 660s, up about 6,000 here in the TD account. You know, so all is well there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So just wanted to give that AppHarvest update. I should have some more information on Composer in the next week or so. I'm very, very excited about that. I've been waiting for that for months. So really excited to get that 200,000 or so allocated into Composer. All right, guys, take care. Ciao.